what in the beginning of my journey of being a mom, what I thought it was going to look like for me versus what it is now, and being able to grieve that concept, grieve that idea, grieve that of what I thought would have been.
No telling what I'm gonna do. Baby, I'm about to show you what you've been missing in your life. When I get inside, blame it on the booze, got you feeling loose. Blame it on the alcohol.
Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel and welcome back to another Mindful Mama Moment. So I wanted to just kind of share some thoughts, some processes, some big feelings that I've been having since forever, for a long time. But as you know, and as I try to continue to share, there's different levels to processing, right? There's different levels to processing. There's different levels to your perspective. And it's forever changing. As we change, as we grow, so do our perspectives, our outlooks on life. So does a lot of things change, grow, and shift, right? I'm a huge fan of a village, the village. It takes a village to raise a child. It truly does. But it doesn't just take a village. It takes a healthy village, right? A healthy village. Because I don't know about you guys, and you let me know in the comments, but for me personally, the type of people that I have around my son who are a part of our village and the type of people that I anticipate to continue having around him are all folks who are the healthiest version of themselves. Of course, there can be many more layers or another level of healthiness for them that they may be reaching towards, but for the most part, they are the healthiest versions of themselves, and they have a grounding understanding of somewhat of who they are on this earth and this planet, right? What they are contributing to our village is all things that are healthy, potent, amazing energy. It's a cycle, like it's the ebb and flow of like grief and excitement, or even just contentment, grief and contentment of the decisions that we make, big or small, where we have to be okay with the aftermath of the decisions that we've made. And this is something that we are teaching King at home. This is something that we're practicing on a daily. But when I think about the topic of a village and healthy support, and what in the beginning of my journey of being a mom, what I thought it was going to look like for me versus what it is now, and being able to grieve that concept, grieve that idea, grieve that of what I thought would have been to what is now, and not to necessarily say that what is now is not what should be, or to take away from the beauty of what is now, because what is now is very beautiful, challenging, of course, like anything, but very beautiful. And there's so much to learn throughout it. However, taking those moments to be honest about what it is that you had as a perspective, motherhood. What did you think your village was going to look like? For me personally, I thought my village was going to look like monthly or bi-weekly visits to grandparents and or aunties consistently, right? I thought that the village for me was going to look like being more in touch with loved ones, like more consistently. I thought the village was going to look more like tag teaming with the little ones in the village. And I didn't get that. And a part of me, of course, the grief comes from feeling robbed, of this experience, at least for now, that King is at the age that he's at. being able to truly take a moment to acknowledge what I thought would have been and what should have been and what is right now and what can be, what the future can hold. It's definitely been some intense processing for me. This usually comes up for me around the winter time. So it's so interesting that right now it's coming up for me, but I'm also in my I want to say I'm in my luteal phase of my cycle. I believe it's late. It's like 10 o'clock at night right now, you guys, while I'm making this video. So I believe I'm in my winter phase of my cycle. Do y'all track your cycles? Because it's something that I have been doing, and it's a daily devotion of practicing and learning how I am on certain days, what I could use a little bit more of, nutritionally speaking, or even just like energetically speaking, physical maintenance speaking. Like, do I need a little bit more yoga today? Do I need a little bit more of an upbeat workout? What is it do I need, and how do I give it to myself? So tracking and cycling my cycles has really been helpful. There are pros and there are cons to making the decisions that we make, making the choice for things to be how they're supposed to be. Sometimes we don't always see what's supposed to come afterwards, but making that choice in that moment, especially if it's detrimental, is so important. So as I'm taking a moment to just reflect and honor the in-between of what I thought would be, what is, and also what is to come, I wanted to share with you, to hold space for you as you do the same. And please feel free to share in the comments. For me personally, I thought the village was going to be a little bit more hands-on, but also I could see how I hindered the village from being a little bit hands-on, right? Accountability. I never want to be in the way of folks showing up and supporting how they can and what they can do. My partner and I always allow that. Ninja and I are always trying to make sure that we're checking ourselves as well too, and allowing folks to show up for us in the ways that they have the capacity to show up for us in, and also allowing folks to show up in ways that we may not necessarily be aware of in the moment, but being able to allow folks to surprise us. And of course, in the most healthiest way, surprise us in the most healthiest way. Like, oh, I didn't realize X, Y, and Z, X and O was going to be so hands-on, like wanting to do soccer lessons with King or wanting to do this, like being able to allow those surprises. That's really where I'm at right now. And taking these moments to be able to acknowledge all of that really just allows me to go through the motions and go through the feels of it, of feeling sad, but also feeling super happy, because we know, right, that two feelings can exist, multiple feelings can exist at once. You don't have to be confined to one emotion. So I've been feeling all the things, and I just wish and hope that all over the world, where you are, whoever you are, that the way that the village is showing up for you is in a way that is conducive to you and your family, and that supports you and your family's growth and the continuing growth of all of you together. And it's really interesting, and it's super sad to me that the village is a luxury, and it's a luxurious thing to have these days, when it's also a necessity. Like, it truly is a necessity. And although I am proud of myself for being able to show up for myself and my family in the ways that we should be having a village show up for us, there's something about being able to do something that you thought that would need all hands on deck, and being able to do it yourself. Should you do it yourself forever? No, absolutely not. But should you do it until that energy radiates out and the folks who are here to help you, to support you with that, come along? Absolutely. I'm a firm believer in that. And it's been such a beautiful, intense, eye-opening, humbling journey, to say the least, of the people that you go into motherhood thinking they're going to be around you throughout, or even make it to be with you throughout, but then they don't even make it past certain milestones, and so in certain milestones, certain ages, certain phases, it just everything is meant to phase out at a certain point. But I am feeling all the feels, and also super excited for what the future holds, and just really processing even more how much the village is now a luxurious thing and not something that is just like a part of our society and a part of our world. This world that we live in is, oh my gosh, this world that we live in is, it's a mess. It's ghetto. It's a lot of things. And I hope and I wish that every family has a village in some type of capacity in whatever pockets you are in the world. I wish that for you, because parenting is really not something that's meant for us to do on our own. It's meant for us to be able to do all together. Yes, there's a lot that happens with you and your child at home, in your home space, with your partner, and with those close family or friends, right? But there's a lot also that happens outside of the circle. I saw this diagram not too long ago on Instagram, and I wish I could remember what it was called, or if it even had a name, or if the person designed it themselves. I'm gonna try to look for it before I post this video, but it basically gave like an outline of how support can look like for kids and also for families. And it was like family here, mom and dad here, right? And then as it started to go out, it's like aunties, uncles, and then it went out further, the community, like the post office, your local restaurants and stuff like that. And then it goes further and further, and like how the support inches out. And I just thought that was really cool, because our brains, we have so much capacity, but we should not be using so much of our brains all day to be thinking about all these things, right? And to know that there's someone in each role for a reason, that is bringing something to the table to help your child's growth and development, whether it's in a way that is not so conducive to your family, whether it's in that kind of way, and it allows you to make big decisions and be able to teach whatever it is that you are not supporting from that, and moving to another direction. Either way, you're still learning. Your child is still being able to grow and develop from the community, from the folks around them, from the experience. So it's really interesting. It really, really is. But that's my rant. That's my ramble. Y'all let me know what you think in the comments. What does a healthy village look like for you? For me, a healthy village looks like folks who are showing up for you where they are, with what they have, being honest, being transparent, communicative people. Communicative folks are my type of folks. Like, I just love people who are super communicative and who make you feel comfortable to talk and make you feel comfortable to just like lean on them or just get to know them. You know, those folks that just feel safe. For right now, that's what my healthy community looks like. Most importantly. Maybe in the future I'll add on more. You guys know how I do it. We're always building, we're always growing, we're always learning. But for right now, the simple girl in me, literally the doing two things that I ask for is for people to show up as the best versions of themselves and be honest about what their capacity is, and genuine, and be communicative. Until next time, y'all.